The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
I'm going to have to get in here and find out what's going on. But, as I said, social media, family, and friends, we had a tragedy here a week ago that happened suddenly. And I was about to get into the story about my encounters with Hurricane Hugo and how it affected people's lives. Now, you know, when you out here running around, you know, you don't think about this stuff. And this stuff is devastating. And we actually went out there and helped these people move furniture, get the family heirlooms out. They had warning. You know, when we went to Wilmington, it was almost a 2-hour drive, and I can see the devastation in those people's eyes. You can see it. These people were frightened. They didn't know what to do. You know, and just anybody to come out there and help them, you know, was a godsend to them, you know. And this tornado that touched down in Nashville and the surrounding area was much more devastating because it just happened so suddenly. You know, the people had a warning when the hurricane was coming that I was involved in, and they couldn't do nothing about it. And as I was saying, that you got people out here, man, that really don't understand that people put their livelihood in homes and make it their nest. You can't get certain family heirlooms back. You can't get certain pictures back of loved ones that have passed on. And it's devastating. You know, one day you go see your mom and you see your trophies that you done won in football hanging up. And then the next day, the whole house is gone. Everything. And it's about 5,000 of my loyal listeners, people that know me, people that don't know me, but see that I come with some decent material. And, you know, if a fraction of you guys would help, it would be a blessing. Now, in the description below this video, when I post it on all my vlog sites, it's going to go out to all my vlog sites. The description below, when you look at it, I'm going to have several institutions, several charities, several organizations that, you know, they want your help. They need your help. You know, you can send blankets, money, canned goods, bottled water, you know, whatever you can send. Call them and ask them what you can send. You know, some people have a limit on things you can do. Some people might accept food, but not liquids. So call them, look at the description below this video. And for my live feed people, I had to get another camera to keep it from crashing. But for my live feed people, you know, send what you can. Nashville people are standing up and they're helping their rebuild. You know, stay prayed up, people. Look out for your brothers and your sisters out there. Look out for each other, especially in a time like this when something happens so suddenly. I don't want to keep dwelling on that. We will rebuild, people. Nashville and surrounding area will rebuild. Like I say, stay prayed up. But later on in this show, I'm going to tell you why Bernie Sanders can't win this election. Even if he beats Joe Biden, which I doubt he'll do, he can't beat Trump. And I know this is a transition from what I was talking about with the hurricane. But you can't keep dwelling on that. this was something that was fate to happen. You know, this is something that wasn't man-made. This was natural. And we're gonna stay prayed up, and we're gonna keep pushing to rebuild and keep helping others. But you know, and like I say, keep people in your mind and in your heart. You know, when you step outside your door and you look around and you see people in need, because charity brings us closest to God. But back to what I was saying about Bernie Sanders. I like Bernie Sanders. Okay? You know, this is a political show. Y'all know this. Y'all been knowing this from the beginning. I seen what social media for 10 years can do. For 10 years as a truck driver, I watched right-wing bigot media, the bigots on the right wing. Not everybody right wing is bigots. But I watched how when Obama became president, there were forces that go back to the Civil War. I can give you history on all of that. But there were forces that pushed money into talk shows like mine. These were people who were basically low-level talk show hosts like me. The only time you can see these guys is at midnight, when you driving on the back roads of Utah, or you up in West Virginia, and you can't pick up any black radio stations that listen to some jazz or some R&B or some rap music. They don't have nothing but country music and hate speech. Talk shows. Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, Michael Savage, you know, all the who's who of talk radio. These people, and some of y'all truck drivers out there, y'all know what I'm talking about. When y'all go on these back roads to deliver a load or something, you know, you can't pick up no radio stations. The only thing that's on the radio is hate speech. And for 10 years, I witnessed how these people transformed America, while minorities was looking at social media trying to figure out how many pimples this IG model got on her butt. You know, who was gonna fight on the next Real Housewives. The right-wing bigots were going around spewing out hate. They was using social media for something different. That's basically what I'm trying to tell you, people. That's basically what I'm trying to tell you. I witnessed this firsthand by driving trucks and being all over this country. It could be Texas. It could be Utah. It could be South Dakota, North Dakota. It could be Pennsylvania. You know, it could be Virginia, Connecticut. Wherever I went, when the lights go off and it's late at night and you can't pick up no radio stations, you got somebody on one of these talk shows talking about how Obama is a secret Muslim trying to take this country over. Hating on Obama. This is facts, people. We wasn't even paying attention to this. That's another reason why I started my show. You know, because I seen how powerful social media is. I seen how powerful social media is. These people turn normal, average white people who didn't really have too much, you know, hatred in their heart for nobody. They rile these people up and turn them into monsters. Now you got a known bigot with known associate bigots all around him in the White House. Because they put him there. They put him there. Ain't nothing but little crown people. Ain't nothing but little crown. You know, so this whole social media experiment that I'm doing, number one, it can make some money. That's number one. It can make some money. You know, in the 4-5 years, this show might be pulling in hundreds of thousands of dollars, just like, Rush Limbaugh, just like Sean Hannity. It can do that. They started off somewhere. My thing is my people gonna pay attention to it. That's my thing. Because when I was riding over the highways and byways of America, they people was paying attention to them. They people wasn't all focused on some garbage that don't mean nothing. Don't mean nothing about nothing. I watched Rush Limbaugh go from a junkie. The man was a talk show junkie to a multi-millionaire in 10 years. It was crazy. All because of hate speech about Obama. This is facts, people. The man was a known junkie. He was a pill popper. Known junkie. So, I'd like to bring politics because this is what's moving this country right now. And a lot of us minorities don't understand this affects us and our kids' lives. I can even take it back to the tornado that just happened. Donald Trump came to Tennessee to visit because Tennessee is a Republican state. It's a lot of people around here like Donald Trump. They're saying behind closed doors, but out in the open, they're smiling in your face. He didn't go down to Florida like that. He waited. He waited a couple of weeks before he went to Florida. Because them black people down there, they really don't care nothing about Donald Trump. Look what he did with Haiti and Dominican Republic down there and Puerto Rico. He don't care about them because they're not voting for him. That's why I always say, man, politics is important. And I like to say this to my minority community, man. Politics is important. So if you can't see me and you listening to my voice over the radio or podcast, and you can't, you got to understand. I witnessed this go down for 10 years, while everybody was sleeping. I'm hearing this hate speech all over the radio. We black folks didn't know about this because we don't listen to Rush Limbaugh. We don't listen to Sean Hannity. But white people do. They had little small talk shows just like mine on the radio, on podcasts, and they spewed out hate speech for 8 years. And they still doing it right now to this day. Now they got a black girl, this Owens girl. They done paid her thousands of dollars to spew out her garbage. And she black. So now they got somebody to say, well, it ain't just us white people, black people. That's a lie. You paid this woman. But we finna get to Bernie Sanders. A lot of y'all that got high and lost y'all damn minds, man. Y'all done got high and lost your minds. Bernie Sanders can't beat Donald Trump. And the reason why is because Bernie Sanders, this whole thing about legalizing marijuana, man, y'all can kill it. Y'all can kill this stuff, people. Y'all can kill it dead. It's not going to happen. Not right now anyway. It might happen slowly over time, 5 to 10 more years. But voting for Sanders right now, you're going to lose against Trump. Bernie Sanders is a Democrat socialist. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because I'm finna break down what socialism is and what capitalism is. Capitalism is garbage by itself, and socialism is garbage by itself. In America, we have a mixture of socialism and capitalism combined. That's what we have in this country. You can't run a country on socialism alone, and you can't run a country on capitalism alone. it's not going to work. You got to blend both of them together. Because capitalism watches socialism and socialism watches capitalism. You got to blend both of them together. And that's why Bernie Sanders can't win, because you got all of these talk show hosts over the last 10 years who have turned socialism into a bad word. You got Bernie Sanders is not a bad person. He might be a good president. But just because he done attached Democrat socialist to his name for 30 years, he can't be president. Ain't nobody gonna vote for him. I mean, we might vote for him because we want to get some damn free weed. We want some weed. We want some marijuana. You know, we want free college. White America, the people that do vote, I'm not talking about your clown uncle that say, man, I want Bernie Sanders, but he ain't going down there to vote. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people out here that's really voting. They're going to step into that booth and they're going to have a choice between Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, and they're going to put Donald Trump back in office. Y'all tripping. I told y'all before, Kamala Harris can't win because she's black and she's a woman. You know, I told y'all that. Buttigieg or whatever that guy name, he can't win because they found out, I think he was gay. He can't win. And I understand the whole Democrat Party is a mixture of gays, whites, minority. Everybody's mixed in with the Democrat Party. I understand that. I get that, people. I get it. So if you listening to me right now, you driving somewhere and you listening to me on podcast, I get it. We want to be all inclusive. But the people out here that got the money, the multi-millionaires and billionaires, they ain't wanting this. You work at Popeyes. The millionaires and billionaires, they can stomach Joe Biden. They can stomach him. They can't mess with Bernie Sanders. Y'all gonna fool around and Donald Trump finna win again. Y'all finna put this bigot back in the White House, fooling around with Bernie Sanders. I'm finna take my first commercial break, and when I come back, I'm gonna talk about capitalism and socialism, because I want y'all to get an understanding that socialism is not a bad thing. The reason why people think socialism is a bad thing is because of Adolf Hitler. He was a bad, terrible person. He deserved everything he got when he died. But socialism itself is not a bad thing, because socialism helps guard us against capitalism. And I'm going to get more into that when I come back off my commercial break.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Sarai out here representing.
Sarai, we're actually out here teamed up with You Are Love Foundation that was founded by one of our sisters, Lisa Kathy, and her husband, Steve Kathy. So we're out here doing what we do. We're serving, giving back to the community. Actually, it's a very humbling and it's bittersweet, but that's what we do. So this is what we're doing. If you have any like donations or if you want to come out and help and volunteer, your help is appreciated. Alrighty.
Alright, that was my sissy. See, you heard what she said. Now I'm going to send you around so you can look at everybody, see what we doing. Doing this for the neighborhood and everything. With everybody that was in the tornado. There we go. See what we doing. We out here for the community. That's what we do. We out here helping. So if you want to come out here and help and support, come on out here. You can see what some of the tornado did. So we're over here at the Kroger's. So if anybody want to come out, help and support, we here.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Electability has been prized by Democratic voters over and above any policy issue.
The race clearly is about electability.
Yes.
This has been about electability since day one.
The electability argument.
His electability argument.
I have the electability case.
The electability question of the evening.
It's about that electability.
People keep talking about electability.
All they're focused on is electability.
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 All right, and we're back with the Daily Read. I'm going to do a quick recap on the first segment of the show. I was talking about the cleanup effort before I got cut off from my live feed. I was talking about the cleanup effort and how Tennesseans have stood up and come together to help the Nashville area rebuild and helping others. You know, they got places set up for people can go stay that don't have any homes. They're giving out blankets. A good friend of mine, Cecilia Adams, she's a good sister, man. She's out here doing good work, and I'm going to feature her on my other program. And she sent me the address of a location that they're giving out. They need volunteers for. I'm gonna pull it up here in a second. I should have had it on hand, but email her, inbox her. Her name's Cecilia Adams. She's an OAS sister. She's a good sister. She does plenty of good work, in the communities, and I'm gonna feature her on Hidden Gems of America because I've seen her transform over the years. And she's a very charitable person, man. I'm talking about just she is a hidden gem of America. And the whole, we're gonna keep these people in our prayers, cause a lot of people died. I think it's up to 24 people died, and people were missing and stuff of that nature. But also, Joe Biden and also the other subject we're talking about today. Is Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders are the last two men standing. I'll be right when I be talking to you. And that's another reason why this show is taking off, people. That's another reason why this show is taking off. Because, I started off with like maybe 100 people watching this show. Maybe 100, if at that. And now, like I said, I got almost 5,000 viewers that watch this show. And it's rising because I be keeping it real, and not only do I keep it real with you, I do my research, but also my predictions be right. I told y'all 3 months ago Joe Biden was gonna be the one. I told y'all that 3 months ago before all this happened. I told y'all Joe Biden was gonna be the one. Just like I told y'all the coronavirus is gonna be bad, people. It's going to be bad. Let me touch on that before I get to capitalism, socialism, because this is important too. I really didn't want to talk about the coronavirus because, I want to get some more stuff that where I can, because see, my viewers on my live feed, they don't get a chance to see my videos that other people get to see. Because I mix in, real videos of doctors talking about this stuff in with my videos. So on my live feed, y'all don't see what's going on my screen. I have my commercials and I have my my video edits. But these people said, now these are CDC doctors. These are not no dude down the street giving his opinion on nothing. This is people who dealt with the Ebola virus. These are people who dealt with the swine flu. Okay? You got a government that's ran by a dude who, if he gets kicked out of office, they're more than likely going to indict him. So he's fighting for his life. He's fighting for his life. He don't care about this coronavirus. He's trying to keep the public from knowing that he's incapable of handling this to keep himself in office. He's trying to keep the information down. But see, I study the world news. I don't just watch local United States news. And then I got family members like my daughter who have been overseas. They can tell you, man, America is not ready. They're not taking this stuff serious. The flu kills 20,000 people a year. This is the normal flu. Everybody know about it, but don't nobody know anybody who died of it. Think about that now. I'm going to let that sit in your mind for a second. Everybody know that the flu can kill you, but don't nobody ever hear about somebody in their family dying from the flu. We know people die from it every year, at least 20,000. But in a country this big with so many millions of people, 20,000 people is like a drop in a bucket. Now, 20,000 people is 0.1%. These people are saying that if 3.5% of people that catch it die from this, that's a problem. Because there's 10 points. There's 10.1. There's one. Listen what I'm saying. If you multiply 20,000 by 10 and then multiply that 3.5 more times, that's almost 1 million people. This is going to be bad. And I hope y'all listen to me if y'all driving somewhere and you listening to my show. The flu kills 20,000 people a year. Multiply that by 10. And then multiply that by 3. That's almost 1 million or more people. That's a problem. And people ain't taking this stuff serious. They still playing meme games. Like everybody worried about the this and that ain't nothing to happen. Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. Y'all high on that shit. Excuse my language. I get 1 or 2 a day. But back where I was saying about, I ain't even want to touch on the coronavirus. We got natural disasters happening. We got the coronavirus happening. We don't know if that's natural or man-made. You know, and now we got an election coming up with the clown show that's going on in the White House. So now I'm finna get into the difference between capitalism and socialism. Okay? This is why people like capitalism more than socialism. Because socialism is a form of governing. This is why I say socialism is not a bad word, people. Okay? Hitler was a bad man. He was a terrible disaster. He killed millions of Jews. The man was terrible. Socialism, just because he was a socialist, is not a bad thing. This is why. I'm gonna give you the examples. If you own something like land or a business, and you're a capitalist, all the money go to you. Okay? Say you have a farm. That's your farm. Say you own a car dealership. That's your car dealership. Say you own a manufacturing company that build cars. That's your manufacturing companies. Okay. Socialism says that everybody works for the government and the government owns this stuff. In other words, whatever your degree of knowledge is, if you smart enough to be a doctor, they're going to place you as a doctor. You smart enough to be a mechanic, they're going to place you as a mechanic. If you dumb as a box of rocks, they're going to have you out there cutting grass. That's socialism. You're going to have a job, but they're going to put you where your IQ says you go. Okay. Capitalism is different. Capitalism, a dummy can be a millionaire. A dummy that don't have no knowledge or no nothing can wind up 2 days later invented something crazy, something stupid, or do some kind of crazy meme on Instagram and become a millionaire overnight. That's capitalism. Everybody loves capitalism. Now here's where the problem kicks in at with capitalism. In the 1930s, we had what you call robber barons. These were capitalists. These were men who go out here and run their whole county. And for y'all layman terms, I'm going to put this in layman terms for people who can't understand what I'm saying. Everybody done seen the Dukes of Hazzard. Black and white. Everybody done seen the Dukes of Hazzard. Boss Hall is the prime example of a capitalist. He ran Hazard County, where all the Duke boys ran around. He ran the sheriff. He told the sheriff what to do. Now, we finna put this in normal, real life terms. If this country was ran off pure capitalism, the president wouldn't even matter of this country, because each individual county is going to have a rich billionaire who hires everybody in that county, and him and his family can get away with murder. You know why? Because he employs everybody in that county. That's capitalism. In other words, his son can go out there and rape your daughter, and people are going to come to you and say, look, don't say nothing, because number one, he's going to fire you, and you're not going to be able to feed your family. You need to just tell your daughter, don't say nothing. Just because his son raped her don't mean nothing. You know, his son or him can be driving by you in a Ferrari and crash into your car and paralyze one of your kids. He gonna throw a couple of $1,000s at you, and you better not go to the sheriff, because guess what? He runs the sheriff. Now this is where socialism kicks in at. Socialism puts rules and regulations from the government to stop capitalism. Follow me now. I want y'all to follow me. All my listeners out there that listen to my show, I want you to follow what I'm saying. Socialism is the government regulates everything. Capitalism is you yourself as the owner regulates everything. Socialism keeps capitalism in check. Capitalism keeps socialism in check. So if that rich man's son run into your daughter and paralyze her, they have laws and rules and regulations made to put his ass in jail. He's not going to get away with it. If that company is dumping pollution into the river, socialism, all of these what y'all call it's a funny nickname y'all got for these nature watchers out here, these people out here who environmentalists. These environmentalists are called socialists for a reason, because they the ones who go out here and find out that your company is dumping lead into the water, and your company's lead that you're dumping into the water is poisoning Flint, Michigan. Think about that for a second, people. I just gave y'all real life stuff that's happening right now today. Flint, Michigan is a prime example. People don't even talk about Flint, Michigan anymore. People don't even say nothing about it. Flint, Michigan is a prime example of capitalism taking over and pushing out socialism, because there's nobody watching them. They say, I don't want no regulations. I want to make all my money. Capitalists can work you 17, 18, 19 hours a day, and if you can't cut it, they're going to fire you and find somebody else. That's capitalism. They don't care about you, the person. They care about the product. Now, socialism goes too far too. Socialism is when the government runs the factories and everybody makes the same money. You ain't gonna be no millionaires. It's not gonna be no millionaires. Socialism is where if you smart enough to run this factory, we're going to pay you $200,000 a year. The man down the street, run the factory down the street, he's going to get paid $200,000 a year. There will be no millionaires. Everybody, depending on what your IQ level, is going to make basically the same amount of money. That's socialism. But socialism has regulations. The regulations of socialism is what keeps us safe from these capitalists who are going to go out here, and their sons who are rich or their daughters who are rich are going to go out here and do something to you. Bernie Sanders is a Democrat socialist. He likes that. I'm not saying that he's a bad dude. I fool with Bernie Sanders. He can't beat Trump. And the reason why is because for too long, social media on the conservative side, the Republican side, have demonized socialism. These millionaires, these millionaire capitalists that have all the stocks, that own all the companies, they pay people like me who do local shows to spit the word out there. Socialism is bad. Capitalism is good. Barack Obama is a Muslim. Barack Obama is not even a United States citizen. They paid these local people like Sean Hannity, like Rush Limbaugh, you know what I'm saying, Laura Ingraham, all of these racist people that get on the airwaves and spew out all they hate. They paid these people to make socialism a bad word because they're capitalists. They want to go out here and do whatever they want to with you and the land and the lakes and the rivers, and they don't want no consequences behind it. They want to dump all the pollution they can in their rivers because it's cheaper to dump it than to call somebody to come and get it. Why should I pay millions of dollars to come dump this waste when I can run a pipe behind my building for $60,000 and dump it straight back there in the river? We got to think about this stuff, people. Socialism is not a bad word. Too much socialism is. We don't want the government in everything we do. You cannot have pure socialism and you can't have pure capitalism. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It don't compute. You got to have a mixture of the two, which is what America has this day. You got to have a mixture. If you don't have a mixture, your whole country is just in free fall. If you have too much capitalism, you're going to have rich people like Donald Trump Jr. running around here getting drunk. He see a girl he like, hey, come here. That might be your daughter. Hey, come here. Like, man, I don't like you. Come here anyway. Now you got a problem. This man hires everybody in the county. You gonna have people throwing shit at your yard and throwing fire bombs at the yard because now he telling the sheriff, hey man, if y'all lock up my son, I'm moving my business out of this county. That's gonna be 60,000 jobs lost. And you gonna lose your job as the sheriff. Because people ain't gonna vote for you to be the sheriff no more. Y'all got to think about this. I talked to a guy at work the other day. He said, man, I caught your show, man. You must be one of them liberals. I said, what do you mean by that? I'm an independent. You know, I got conservative views. I got liberal views. I got conservative views and I got liberal views. So what you mean by that? He said, well, you know, I just think, man, the government is over-regulating the businesses. I said, man, have you ever owned a business? He said, no. I said, you own any stocks? He said, no. I said, how long you been working for this company? I've been working for this company 6 years. Oh, about 12 years. I said, had your pay went up? He said, no. I said, did the tax break help you out? He said, no, not really. I said, then what the hell is you talking about? And that's what I mean when I say it was so much misinformation given out to the American people for 8 to 10 years. It was so much misinformation given out to the American people for 8 to 10 years when Obama was president that they didn't even realize this man saved this country. We was almost in a depression. I'm not talking about no damn recession. All you got to do is, you want to know what a depression is like? Look at the old videos and go to your local library and pull up some audio tapes of the Great Depression. You had people killing themselves and their families because they couldn't even feed their kids. It was that bad, people. Barack Obama saved us from a recession turning into a depression. And then these people turn around and throw dirt on his name. For 8 years, they threw dirt on his name like he was just some kind of, secret Muslim trying to take the country over for black people. And you got people listening to this stuff on the internet. They use the whole internet in a different way, is what I'm trying to tell you. We use social media for memes. We use social media for looking up IG models pages so we can see every pimple she got in her ass. They use social media to preach hatred and rile up the vote. That's some deep stuff. We ain't even thinking about using social media like that. I talked to a young lady not too long ago, told me she's an activist, but she's not into politics. I wanted to argue with her so bad, but I said, no, I'm going to lay back. I ain't going to mess with that. How you an activist and don't get into politics? People that do bad things in politics is what actually makes you activate. But if you vote them out of office first before they even get in office, you won't have to be an activist. Think about that for a second. If you know that this dude was a bigot, he's a foul creature, you paying attention to politics, you're not going to let him get in office. That means you don't have to get out here and protest nowhere, because he's not in office. Think about that. That makes sense. I just took that whole thing around in a circle, brought it back to you. If you paid attention to what's going on in politics, you wouldn't have to be out here with picket signs talking about Black Lives Matter. Think about that. I'm going to let that simmer on your soul for a second. If you ain't paying attention, 2 years later, when your son get messed up, guess what? Donald Trump done put over 50 judges that are bigots just like him in lifetime judge appointees. They lifetime judge appointees. That means from now, while he's president, all the way to the next 20 to 30 years, by the time these people retire, they're going to be the judges that are overlooking your cases, your lawsuits, your kids going in and out of court. So guess what? When your kids go in and out of court, they got to face a judge that was put in judgeship, a judge in the judge spot by Donald Trump. That means this man has the same kind of ideals as Donald Trump. That means if your minority ass go in that courtroom, he automatically has this affinity towards black people. Not all of them. Not all of them. But now he has an affinity towards minorities. He might think they all lazy. I'm going to give him 20 years. because we're not paying attention to politics. I'm going to continue on. Capitalism versus socialism. When it comes to equality, there is no equality in capitalism. Socialism tries to maintain a balance of equality between men and women, blacks and whites, or whatever. You get paid the same. There is no woman getting less money than men. If that woman is doing the same job building these desks, she gonna get the same pay the men get. Capitalism is different. Capitalism says you can go as high as you want to go. The government don't regulate nothing here. I own this. And since I own it, I like you. I'm going to give you $21 an hour. Don't you tell them other workers. They get paid $18. I've been in situations like that on both ends. I've been in situations like that as a truck driver on both ends where a man has literally paid me $2 more than what he was paying everybody else. He said, man, look, don't you say nothing, man. You one of my best drivers. He said, man, look, I ain't giving him a nickel. I'm going to give you 21. Them guys, man, no. They can't even get the load there on time or nothing. Instead of him firing them and finding somebody that's going to do the job for them, he's a capitalist. He got the right to do that. Socialism doesn't work like that. Okay? Prices. We're going to talk about prices. Socialism, capitalism. Socialism tries to maintain a regular price for everybody. If a millionaire goes in here and buys some milk for $3, poor man going to have to buy milk for $3. Capitalism, it's a difference. Capitalism, I can charge China $20,000 for a product, and I can charge America $10,000 for a product. That's capitalism. Do what I want to do. I'm not regulated. What I'm trying to tell y'all people is socialism is not a bad word. Sometimes socialism can help watch capitalism to keep people from harming you that's making all these millions. To keep people from doing whatever they want to do with you. But Bernie Sanders cannot win. Too many people are ignorant and don't know what socialism is. You say the word socialism, black people, they really like, Minority, they're like, socialism, capitalism, unless they educated. Every white person I know, every one of them, you say socialism, they like, they get uncomfortable because this stuff has been going on for years. Minorities ain't paying no attention to it, but they have been programmed to think that socialism is a bad word. It's not. Socialism is another form of governing. Capitalism is a form of governing. And either one of them by themselves is garbage. You can't do one without having the other safeguard the other. You can't have one without the other. And I'm going to demonstrate to you when I come back off this commercial break. I got one more commercial break. And then we're going to talk about Bernie Sanders.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
We got food, drinks, we got sandwiches. Hot dogs, hamburgers. Got a little bit of everything. It's the owner, Elizabeth. What you got to say?
Yo, we out here in One Drop. We just want to give back to everybody. We've been here for 9 years and we ain't got no power. Our building got a little damage, but that's okay because we can feed you. If you out here cleaning up, like we was cleaning up, you hungry. If you out here with your power out and you hungry, bring your kids. Come get food. We got a grill, we got meat, we got snacks, we got drinks, whatever you need. I know we ain't got fridge, and power right now, so
we're gonna figure it out.
Some food is free. We out here till at least 3. If y'all need us to stay longer, just sit us up on the ground or whoever. We'll sit out here a little bit longer and wait for you to get some food. Or you can send us a message and we can bring some food to you. If we can get to your street, we're gonna send people out to canvass the neighborhood. So send us a message with your address and we can try to bring some stuff to you, okay?
Yep.
Come get some food, man.
Yeah.
Nashville. North Nashville.
Feel good, so you know what I'm saying, be out here in your own community and helping out when other people in need. When you've been blessed, do what you need to do. So that's all it is. I got to say. Help out when you can.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
There's been a lack of widespread national testing for the coronavirus in the United States compared to other countries, due in large part to the Trump administration's lack of preparation and the government's slow and inept response. One expert called it a national scandal, so you'll never guess who Trump blamed it on today.
The Obama administration made a decision on testing that turned out to be very detrimental to what we're doing, and we undid that decision a few days ago so that the testing can take place in a much more accurate and rapid fashion.
He actually did it. He found a way to blame the coronavirus on Barack Obama.
All right, people, we back with the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. Now, as I was talking about on the first 2 segments, I was talking about the tornado that hit Nashville and the sad cases going on in Nashville. I haven't even been in Nashville, man. I live through Hugo. I do what I can on this end. You send me information, I'm going to get it out there. Like I said, I got almost 5,000 viewers that watch my show on a regular, and it's rising daily. You send me that information, man, and I'm going to come out there and do some charity work too. You know what I'm saying? That's my obligation and my duty. I'm going to come out there and do some charity work too. But, man, it hurts me to see that because I seen what it did to Wilmington. I seen it firsthand. I was there filling up sandbags. I was there at 19 years old, people. I was there. I seen the look in these people's eyes. They look like refugees coming out of a war zone. They didn't know what to do. These people had 30 years, 40 years invested of their lives in homes and gone in a flash like that. That hurts. That hurts. And I pray for these people every day. I pray for them every day. And I'm going to do everything I can to get the word out, man. If they need help, I'm going to give them the information, man, where to get it. I'm going to get the word out. I want to get back to what I was saying about the difference between socialism and capitalism and why Bernie Sanders can't win. I saw a video, and like I said, people on my live feed, they can't see the video clips that I put up because it's a live feed. They looking into the studio live as I'm doing my show. But if you go to any of my vlog sites, YouTube, podcast, I got Twitter. I got a Twitter feed. Any social site you go to and you see the black and green sign, and you press the video, you will actually see the whole show different from if you see it live. And they did an interview with Donald Trump. And he was mad because he thought Bernie Sanders was going to be his opponent. And he laughed. The man said, yeah, I was ready for Bernie Sanders. Now I got to face Joe Biden. He's scared of Joe Biden. Because Joe Biden appeals to people that are rich and wealthy. They are capitalists. Joe Biden appeals to them. He's like, the man got sense. He's a goofball sometimes, but we got to get this criminal dude up out the White House. But they would rather deal with Donald Trump than deal with a Democrat socialist. Because Bernie Sanders is going to basically make the playing field even. And too much of that is a bad thing. Too much of that is a bad thing because high school is a weeding out process. I look at things different from most people. You know, my mind, I got a lot of slang because I've been in the streets and I've been all over the United States, so I done hung with different people. Like I can go to Arizona and get to talking to some of my Chino partners down there, and within 2 weeks, I'm talking like them and everything. I go to Chicago, hang out with my cousin for a couple of weeks, and I'm up there talking about, what's up, Joe? Man, what's up? What's up, man? You know, I go to Memphis, hang out with my partners down there, and my slang is slang, but don't get it twisted. This mind up here is moving constantly. I done read hundreds of books. I done studied history. I done studied different religions. I can bring it to you. Don't get it twisted. And over the years that I've been studying this stuff, I've noticed that too much socialism will hurt you as far as your creativity. This is why Bernie Sanders can't win. High school is a weeding out process. Okay, I'm going to tell you why. Because when you're in high school and you graduate, I told my daughters this. I had a few issues. I was thinking that, man, I'm not gonna let my girls be running around here, man, 4, 5 kids on welfare. No, I'm finna push them. Because high school is a weeding out process. When you were in high school and you were a 12th grader, that point right there in your life, you either finna go on to do bigger things or you finna go down. One of the two. I've seen many of high school popular people. The greatest football players in high school got the jersey hung up, got flyers and everything. They sitting on somebody's porch right now with a 40 ounce in their hand, drinking beer with no job. Getting high with no job. Then I done seen other people come out of high school, going to the military, going to college, or start working somewhere, and their life is like this, going straight up. So high school is a weeding out process. Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren is trying to make college free for everybody. Okay. At first, I was cool with it because it's going to help a lot of people. But then I thought about it. It depends on the stipulations. You can't keep giving somebody something for free, because what you're going to do is you're going to turn major colleges like North Carolina UNC, Duke University, Tennessee Vols, the Volunteers. You're going to turn major universities into slum. It's going to be slum. Because a lot of these people going to get in there don't want to be there no way. But they parents say, man, it's free, man. You better get in there. Okay. They in there. Now they bringing the gang banging. They're bringing the fights. You know, all kinds of foolishness. Like I said, it's a good thing if it's done right. If it's done right. Got to be stipulations. Stipulations mean like, look, if you go to this free college and you drop out, you catch a criminal charge, you got to pay us $2,000. You got to pay us some money. In other words, you can't just give blanket free college out. Because you do that, it's going to bring the value of the education system down when it comes to universities and colleges. Okay? So basically what I'm saying is Bernie Sanders got a good idea. Elizabeth Warren got a good idea, but how you going to implement this? How you going to implement it to keep the quality of the people that do want to be there, who busted their ass in high school to be there? How you going to keep the quality up? Because if you got free college, now the kids ain't going to want to bust their ass in high school no more. All they got to do is just get through it. I got free college anyway. It could be another stipulation. You got free college if you keep your grades at a certain GPA. You got free college. That might work. Because it's still a weeding out process. It's a weeding out process. It's free college. But if your GPA ain't this, it ain't free college. Sorry. You know, so I tell people all the time, man, Bernie Sanders, like I say, he's a good dude. I fool Bernie Sanders. I fool with him. But some of y'all are thinking about free weed. Y'all want this marijuana to be legal so bad that you're not paying attention. Y'all gonna fool around and get Donald Trump elected again. Fooling around with Bernie Sanders. It ain't gonna happen. Joe Biden might be a little goofy at times with the dark shades, you know, looking like somebody cool uncle, you know, coming to the barbecue. You know, he finna say something crazy. But the man, he's electable when it comes down to the powers that be. Sanders, he's not electable to the powers that be. He might be electable to all the millions and millions of youngsters that's out there. Minorities, millions and millions of youngsters out there. But the millions and millions of white people that actually vote and the millions and millions of black people that actually vote, they're not messing with Sanders. They're like, man, no, man. No. They're not messing with him. They're going to step into that voters booth and they're going to see Bernie Sanders, Donald Trump. They're going to like, man, and I can't stand Donald Trump. And they're going to vote for Donald Trump again, man. Y'all got to get this understood, man. When I be telling y'all this stuff, it come from experience. It come from study. Years of it. I didn't just jump up and start doing this. I got friends that'll tell you, man, he used to be in the streets. But man, dude, slick educated, man. You gotta, hey, you can't come with no garbage with him. You can't do it. I was in New York with a guy named Agard. This is a true story. It was a guy named Agard. He was a 5%er. For all y'all brothers and sisters out there know what the 5% nation is. He was a 5%er. He told me that white people are devils. That's what he told me. He said white people are devils. And if a man have a baby by a white woman, a black man have a baby by a white woman, that black man need to take that baby from her because she's a devil. I said, man, number one, I did what I told him. I said, number one, you can't come to me and say anything to me, man. I'm an activist when it comes down to the minority community. I'm a black activist, but you can't tell me anything, man. Because if we gods, why would we want to have a baby by a devil anyway? Think about that. How can we have a baby by a devil? We all human, man. I had to tell him we all human. That garbage you spitting, you sound like the Klan. You sound like a black Klansman. And I laughed in his face. You can't tell me anything. This is what I'm saying when I tell y'all people, man, I come from a life, 43 years of experience. Being around different cultures, different people, different languages, eating different type of foreign foods, all of that. People that know me in Tennessee be like, dang, I didn't know Marcus was experienced like that. I got friends in Utah y'all will never even know about. I got friends in North Carolina that'll never even meet you. Just because I live in Tennessee, I know people all over this country. Rich and poor. And can pull up at their house. And that's why I tell you people, man, that you can bank on what I'm saying. If y'all put Bernie Sanders ahead of Joe Biden, we're going to get Donald Trump again for 4 years. Stop playing with this stuff. Stop playing with it, people. I didn't have time to call Brother Porter. He probably doing some charity work in Nashville, but I'm gonna try to get in contact with Brother Porter. He does the sports call, and I haven't done the sports call in a couple of weeks, man. I'm gonna really sit down and talk to him and see if we can set up a certain set schedule, because I know he be busy. But Brother Porter, if you listen on my live feed, man, hit me up, and we're gonna get this sports call, because I know a lot of guys. I do news, politics, and sports, and everything trending. I haven't did anything trending for a while, because like I said, a lot of things be going on with this virus that's going on. The tornado that happened. It's just a lot of stuff going. Then my daughter come home in the military, so my life is just busy. I got videos. I got people that want me to do videos for them for commercials and stuff. So my life is just moving, constantly moving. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna touch on something trending. I seen two things that's trending. One of them is kind of funny. It was funny to me. I'm sorry. It was funny. I'm going to try to put the video up. Oprah Winfrey slipped and fell on her ass. I looked at that video and I almost fell out. Karma is something. People don't understand how karma can hurt you. It comes back around and bites you. She's sitting on stage talking about how we need to stand up and when you get knocked down, get back on your feet, and boop, she slipped and fell, bust her ass, and the whole crowd looked like they bust out laughing, man. It was funny. If y'all ain't seen that video, it's trending right now. Y'all need to see that video, man. And then I thought about Kobe and the whole defending Gayle King thing, and I said, man, either God pushed her down or Kobe slipped and gave her one of them elbows, but she hit that ground hard, people. You know what I'm saying? She hit that ground hard. It was funny. And another thing trending, I got to talk about The Walking Dead, people. This is my show. Okay, I love the Game of Thrones. Was one of the best shows on TV. If y'all have never seen the Game of Thrones, you got to watch that. You got to watch it all the way to the end. Binge watch it. Get you some popcorn. You and your old lady, y'all sit there and binge watch the Game of Thrones, man. That was a good show. But The Walking Dead, that show is amazing. It fell off last year, about 2 years ago. It kind of got weak because they had a mix-up with the directors where they changed directors. But the new people that they got running that show now, they done brought it back. They done brought that show back, and they supposed to be doing a Rick Grimes movie. For all of y'all that know about The Walking Dead, Rick Grimes is supposed to be doing his own movie, and I think they're going to try to pull some of the cast members from the TV series into the movie, like Michonne with the katana blade, and I'm telling you people, Walking Dead is what's popping right now. If you want a good show, I'm gonna do this is what's trending. If you want to watch a good TV series and you ain't never seen The Walking Dead, binge watch it. Follow that show from the first season all the way to season 10, and I guarantee you, man, you're gonna love that show. You're gonna love it. And watch the Game of Thrones too. That's a good show too. But this is the Daily Read. And I am your host, Marcus Gentry, and I'll see you next Sunday.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.